So why do bad things happen, and what can we do about them when they do? Good afternoon, this is Lucky Lynx. This is probably the one question that leads us all of us who search for answers, all of us who are curious, all of us who want to understand the reasons why we're here, all of us who seek a spiritual path. This is probably that one question that gets us right when we're so very young, that we ask and that we wonder about, and that is, why do bad things happen? And then when they do happen, what do we do about them? This is the subject that makes more people, call a psychic or call someone or seek a path to change their lives or give up habits, maybe that no longer serve them. And I think in that last one, there is a secret to what's really going on here. This is the thing that people call me and they say, hey, things were going great. All of a sudden, everything tanked. I don't know why. Now there's a million reasons astrologically, spirit world wise, stuff like that can happen. I'm not going to go into that stuff right now. If you're interested, I can start to do a bunch of videos about some of the spiritual influences that cause things that are going okay to tank. If you'd like me to do that, put a comment in the below, and I'll start to tell you some things I know from my experience. Sometimes people will call me, what happened? And I'm like, well, it looks like this happened. If you shift this, it'll go back on track. If you'd like me to do some videos like that, let me know. I'll do some. But I'd like to make this one very practical and kind of general. So this is by no means the all-encompassing answer to why do things go wrong. But I think that this teaches us a huge amount. Every once in a while, an artist will do something that I think makes you think in a different way that you weren't thinking before. That's why when I started out reading cards, I got as many decks as I could, not because I wanted to collect them, but because I wanted to see how different artists depicted different archetypes. And I learned so much from that when I first started out. And then those ones that really stuck with me, I kept, and I used them. I can still remember there was one particular deck. It was made, I think it was made in the 60s or 70s. I think it was made in the 70s. It was the Sacred Rose deck. There were so many images that particular artist had chosen to do that just, wow, they hit me right in the, wow, I get it. I get what this is telling me. This one is one of my favorite examples of how an artist can do that. This is from the it's an 18th century, 1725 or 35, I think it's 25. The Minchiate Etruria. This one has 98 cards in it. You guys have seen me mention this one before. I have a couple different versions of the Minchiate. It's got 98 cards in it. These two form a pair that I think is extremely illuminating on the subject of why we suffer. Now, the first one is number 15. That's the Devil. And for those of you who read cards, you guys know that the devil has to do with those things that we we bind ourselves to, or we allow to bind us and enslave us. Okay, that's the devil. Now, number 16, as we know it today, is the Tower. But in this particular deck, it's a little different, and it is called the House of the Devil. So you got the devil, which is the things that you bind yourself to, or the things that you enslave yourself to, your addiction, stuff like this. But then the next card is called the House of the Devil, which is, as you can see, on fire. Okay? And if you look carefully at the image, you could say that she is leaving the house and trying to get out. She's almost out, and there's a hand reaching to pull her back in. Or, if you look at it a different way, I don't know if you guys can see it. It is the other person trying to reach and pull her back in, or is the other person trying to get out as well? You see her face there too. She's trying to get out as well. Okay? So one of the main reasons I see when I do readings for people suffering, is because they are in the house of the devil situation and they're trying to go back in the house. Okay, so we might say that all of the addictions and slavery and enslavement that goes on in relation to those things that really are not good for us, at some point the house that we build from that stuff sets on fire. And in terms of the modern understanding of the tarot, we would say that the foundation was not built solid, so when the lightning strikes the tower, it can't hold up and it falls. And then it's your chance to build a new foundation that's stronger, that's not built on illusion. Well, in this particular case, I love this combination here because it shows, is she gonna get out, or is she gonna go back in? One of the most common things I hear myself telling people in readings and in consultations and even in hypnosis and in when I do their astrology is, get out of the house. It's on fire. They're like, well, why am I suffering? It's because you keep going back in the burning house. The house is burning down because it's built of all those things that are not good for you, and you're clinging to it. And you're trying to get back into it, and it's burning for a reason. Now, to go back to that question, why do bad things happen? It does not make sense if you just think that we are here randomly. Then it's just, well, bad things happen. It's the law of averages. Some people's lot are better than others. But if you, for a moment, step back and you work from if you take the hypothesis that we are here for a reason and that we are here to become, each of us is here to become something very specific that only we can become, then this starts to make sense. Because what would happen then is that this would come along in those times when we are clinging to those things that are the very things that we are here trying to remove, because they are standing in the way of the thing that we are trying to become. And this is when those things start to burn down, and we have the opportunity to actually be free of those things and come from a more natural, and I'm going to call it natural. I'm not going to call it, I guess you could say maybe vulnerable, in the sense that you're more natural. And that as we grow from children, and when we're children, we're more, I think, likely to be able to, or more closer to recognizing that we can become that thing that we came here to become. But as we grow, we build all these things, built of these addictions, enslavements, these things that we say we need. And we tell ourselves, I need that. I'm supposed to have that. Well, you can't go without that. You have to have this. And then you build this big house of the devil, and then eventually that house sets on fire. And you're forced to see the truth that thing was enslaving you. And a lot of people will stay in the house until the house burns down and it destroys them. And that house, that devil is merciless. That house will burn down with you in it. So my advice in those situations where you're having those times where it's a really bad day, a bad month, a bad year, or you were going through a really good time and then things tanked, or there's a relationship that you've been going on with for years and years and years, and the house is on fire. It's on fire for a reason. I think, get confused by the religions and the schools and the things that told us, and the entertainment that told us growing up, that bad things happen to us because we're supposed to suffer. If you believe that, well then, there's a loving God out there trying to kick your ass because he loves you so much. He's gonna punish you every way he can so he can watch you squirm and suffer because he loves you. You believe that? Well, okay. If you recognize the possibility that you are here to become something, and when the house of the devil sets fire and you have to get out, it's because those are the things that are standing in the way of you becoming what you really became here to become, and that you really are much more profound, much more beautiful, much more talented than you have any idea. So when that job that's been holding you back, that relationship that's been holding you back, even, whether it's a love relationship or it's a parent and child, or even child and parent, or friendship, or whatever it is, it's been holding you back. You know, even, and this is a really, really hard one, because I've been there. Even when you have a pet and you give so much to that pet that you give more to the, you know, a lot of times we love and cherish and give our power to our pets rather than giving it to ourselves. And that moment when they go, it's like the house of the devil moment, where we realize that was my friend and they're gone, but there's a me that has to become something still. And sometimes we use that connection, whatever it is, to our children, to our jobs, to whatever it is, to our pets, whatever it is, and we use it, and we don't recognize our own power, our own ability, because we're so busy putting all our time, our power, our energy, our effort into that. So instead of looking at it as though why do bad things happen, ask yourself, what is this situation trying to get me to see about myself that I'm not seeing? What am I clinging to that is standing in my way of becoming what I really am? What has been holding me back in this situation? And why is the devil's house on fire? I am Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you guys would like to get a reading from me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. I am backed up for 4 months now doing charts. However, I am still taking readings. I am still doing readings. I'm still doing tarot readings. I'm still doing Tibetan Khil Khor work for people. I'm still taking readings all throughout the week, as I always have. But if you would like to get your Tibetan astrology chart done, I do have a bit of a wait. There's about a 4-month wait now. I've got a lineup of people. By the way, in that chart, it will show you exactly what it is that you are trying to become. And when those moments come that you do have that moment where the devil's house is on fire, it will tell you what it is exactly that you're trying to become, that those things are standing in the way of. So if you'd like to get your chart done, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. And if you would like to, I'm still taking students also for my tarot classes. If you'd like to take an intermediate to advanced tarot class or a basic tarot class, I've got both. If you would like to take a basic Lenormand class or a Lenormand Grand Tableau, I've got both. If you'd like to take a playing card reading class, I got both. One, how to read the Mexican Loteria class. Boy, that is a really fun class, and it is I cannot recommend the Loteria stuff enough. Also, crystal balls, also very fun. Also, very extraordinary to be able to scry in any situation and get exactly the information that you need. I have a class in that as well. If you'd like to take any of those classes, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. And for those of you who've donated, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you like these videos and they help you and you would like to donate to help keep them coming, well then I'll put my PayPal, my Venmo below. Remember, when bad things happen, ask yourself, what am I clinging to? And ask yourself specifically, what enslavement have I accepted in my life? Why is the devil's house on fire? And most importantly, how the hell can I get out of the devil's house instead of going back in and burning down with it?